Hello, Eva, and welcome back.
Hi, Alina. Thanks for having me.
We were mentioning it in our introduction to this series, how we thought of giving the people that are listening to us also some practical elements that they can very easily implement and use in their day-to-day conversation. And for our first episode, we thought about timing. So, when is or when would be a proper time to have a conversation with someone, and what would be some of the things to consider when choosing the appropriate time for a conversation?
Yeah, thanks for bringing this up. I learned a while ago back in a conference from Helen Hunt and Harville Hendricks, who are very important couples therapists. The idea to introduce a meaningful conversation to have. Let's say I want to talk about with my sweetheart, shall we move in together? Are we ready for the next step? Or, maybe a couple had this conversation about, I really want to have a baby. Are you on the same page with me? Like these really meaningful conversation. I really need your ears. I really need to have your full presence. Are you there or are you distracted in another place? And I was so taken by this very simple sentence that they introduced saying, hey, sweetheart, or hey, whoever, I have something that I really like to have a conversation about. Is now a good time for you? And I was blown away by this very simple sentence. And then the second step that we're actually proposing was that if the other partner, if the receiver who is asked the question is saying, oh, thanks for asking me, now is not a good time, now is another important moment to then really test, do I mean that I really want to check out time so that we find the right timing for the both of us? Or is this just a little trick question in order to say you always have to be available, especially in like a personal relationship that can sometimes happen. So the important second step is thanks for asking me. Yeah, now is a good time. Let me get all the distractions away so I'm fully present and all ears and all eyes. I have undivided attention for you. Or if I don't have the time to say, no, now is not a good time for me, but let me give you a time that works for me so that the other one is now responsible for making the time available and giving a specific time and date when it's good to have a conversation. And it seems so simple, yet it is very profound, actually, especially for personal relationships.
So what I'm hearing is that they both need to be present in the conversation. So the one opening the conversation first to ask if there's an appropriate time, is it's a good time for them to have a conversation, and then also the other one to calibrate and feel safe and open enough as to really acknowledge if it is or it isn't according to what they were involved in at that point. So for that, do you think that there would be some prerequisite conditions necessary in order for both of the people involved in the conversation to be able to handle this timing and to agree upon a timing in this way?
Well, I think one is if let's say I'm the sender and I really have something important that I need to share. One is I need to be aware. This is a thing that's so important to me that I need the full presence of the other. I need them to be available to receive and fully listen to what I have to share. So it's important to me. I need the other one to be fully there. And that just because it's a good time for me doesn't mean it's the right time for you. So it's also really respecting, hey, we may be off sync in terms of timing. Now is good for me, now is not good for you. So that there's also differences that we just accept and don't make a big thing out of it, but just accept it's a small thing, like just timing. So let's just stay with that. And I think that's maybe an understanding around how crucial it is to, I mean, in business connections, we have meetings. You know, if I'm in a business situation, we set up a time. We set up a time frame. We have an agenda. So in a professional setting, we know about that. Why not apply that also into, let's say, a personal relationship where we just honor maybe my agenda and maybe my meeting time is not the same as yours. So let's agree so that we're all both on the same page. And then we have a set agreement to say, now is a good time. Now let's talk about something that's really meaningful, where I really full-heartedly like to exchange myself with you.
Thank you for sharing that. And we hope it was also valuable and useful for you listening to this first episode. And we are looking forward to meeting you in the next one. Please share with us your challenges in regards to communication and how you want to enhance your communication skills, and we will surely address them in the future. Thank you.
Thank you.